What if the headache you got during that impossible week wasn't random, and your mind actually chose it without telling you? Stay with us, because there's a guided meditation at the end of this that might just prove it. Here's the claim we're going to sit with today, and I want to say it plainly so you can decide if you're in sickness, physical discomfort, emotional shutdown. The sudden need to cancel everything isn't always something that happens to us. Sometimes it's something the mind reaches for quietly when reality feels like too much to handle. This isn't about blame. It isn't about guilt. It isn't some idea that you're manifesting your migraines because you're a bad person. It's something far more interesting and far more useful. The recognition that the mind has more say over the body than we've been taught. And once we see that, we start to understand every moment we've ever quietly wished would just disappear. Let me give you a picture. Imagine it's Thursday afternoon. For 2 weeks, you've been avoiding a conversation with your manager, the kind where you'd have to say something true about yourself. Something that feels exposing. Maybe you'd have to admit you're burned out. Maybe you'd have to ask for something. Maybe you'd have to set a boundary you've been pretending you don't need. And then Thursday morning, you wake up with a pounding headache and a tight chest. Genuinely. You're not faking. You cancel the meeting. You feel terrible, and you believe, completely, that the headache caused the cancellation. But somewhere, just below the surface of awareness, something new. Something measured the threat, calculated the cost, and handed you a clean, plausible exit. And then, this is the part that's almost elegant, it immediately forgot it had done so. So all you're left holding is the pain, with no memory of the decision that made it useful. I want you to think of the mind as a circuit breaker in an old house. When the current gets too strong, when truth or intensity or vulnerability threatens to overwhelm the system, the breaker trips. Lights out. Everything stops. We call it a headache, a migraine, exhaustion, a flare-up, a bad day, a sudden need to lie down. The breaker didn't trip by accident. It was doing exactly what it was wired to do. Protect the system from a surge it wasn't ready to handle. That conversation with your manager. Surge. That difficult email you've been staring at for 3 days. Surge. The visit with the family member who knows how to find the soft spots. Surge. The breaker is fast. Faster than your conscious mind. It trips before you even know there was a current. And here's the part that we miss. The breaker trips, and then we forget there's a breaker. We just stand in the dark and call it weather. Once you start looking, you'll see this pattern everywhere. Not just in yourself, in everyone. The friend who gets a stomach bug every time their in-laws visit. The colleague whose back goes out the week of the presentation. The way your jaw tightens before a phone call you've been dreading. The way your energy mysteriously crashes the night before something you're afraid of. The mind reaches for discomfort the way a hand reaches for a railing, automatically, when it feels like it might fall. It isn't pathology. It isn't weakness. It's a protective reflex, refined over years, faster than thought. The body becomes a kind of evidence, proof that we couldn't have done the thing, proof that we're not avoiding, we're just sick, proof that the problem is happening to us, not through us. And here's the uncomfortable question that opens a door. If you let it, What if the pain isn't the problem? What if it's the solution to a problem you forgot you had? Sit with that for a second. Not as accusation. As curiosity. What if the headache is doing exactly what you, somewhere, asked it to do? This is where everything shifts, and I want to walk you into it carefully, because it can sound like one thing and actually be another. The reframe isn't, "You're causing your own suffering, so feel bad about it." That's just another way of being trapped. The reframe is something quieter and far more freeing. It goes like this: you are not a body responding to a chaotic world. You are a mind that has been quietly running the show this whole time. Your body has been faithfully expressing the decisions your mind made before you were conscious of making them. Which means, and stay with me here, the mind that built the defense can also lay it down. The circuit breaker isn't broken. It's responsive. It tripped because, at some point, you decided certain currents were too much. That decision can be revisited. Not forced. Not bullied. Just revisited, with a kind of gentle honesty. Oh, I see what I did there. I didn't want to have that conversation. I made myself unavailable. The headache was the receipt. And the strange thing that happens when you see it clearly, without shame, without spiritual performance, just with clean recognition, is that the strategy loses its power. You can't unconsciously do something you've consciously noticed. The breaker stops needing to trip, because the surge stops feeling like a surge. The house can handle more current than you thought. What opens up here isn't triumph. It's not a new self-improvement project where you scold yourself for every twinge. It's something gentler. A kind of spaciousness. The quiet relief of realizing you're not at the mercy of your body or your circumstances, that something in you is always choosing, and can always choose differently. This isn't about willing yourself into wellness. It's about stopping the war. Most of our exhaustion isn't from the things we do, it's from the defending we do underneath them. The constant low-level monitoring. The bracing. The flinching from currents we don't even consciously name. When you stop defending, not as surrender, but as relief, the lights stay on. You notice you have more capacity than you thought. The conversation with your manager is still hard, but you don't need to be sick to avoid it. You can just have it. Or not have it. From choice, not from the circuit breaker. So here's what we're left with as we move into the meditation. Not a rule. Not a discipline. Just a quiet new way of noticing. The next time discomfort arrives uninvited, the headache, the heaviness, the sudden need to disappear, you don't have to fight it. You don't have to fix it. You can just ask, gently, what was I about to face? What current was about to come through? And without judgment, you can let yourself remember that you are not the breaker. You are the one who installed it a long time ago, when you thought you needed it. And you can let it stay on. Just for a moment, just to see what happens when the lights don't go out. That's where we're going now. If you want to keep practicing with us, you can like the video and subscribe. Let's take a moment now to let this settle with a guided meditation. Let's settle in. You don't have to do anything special. Just let your body find a position it can rest in. Shoulders down. Jaw soft. Take one breath in. And let it out slowly. Another. A little deeper this time. And release. Notice where you are right now. The chair holding you. The ground under your feet. The quiet hum of the room. There's nothing to fix in this moment. Nothing to defend against. Nothing to brace for. Let your attention drift to your body. Gently. Without inspection, just notice. Is there tightness somewhere? A familiar holding, a place that's been quietly working overtime for you. Don't try to change it, just acknowledge it. Say, softly, inside, I see you. Thank you for trying to protect me. And now, if you can, let it soften. Just a little, just by a degree. Imagine, for a moment, the breaker in the old house. The one that's been tripping fast for years to keep you safe. And imagine, just now, that nothing is surging. The current is steady, the lights can stay on. You are safe enough, in this exact moment, to not defend. Breathe into that. Feel how the body doesn't have to carry the message right now. It doesn't have to ache for you. It doesn't have to shut down for you. It can just rest. Let your face soften. Your throat. Your chest. Your belly. Let the parts of you that have been quietly bracing know that they can stand down. Just for these few minutes. You are the one who installed the breaker. You can also be the one who lets the current flow. Nothing to prove. Nothing to perform. Nothing to escape from. Just this breath. Just this moment. Just the quiet truth that you are more than the body that's been carrying the load. Rest here for a moment longer. Feel the spaciousness. Feel how much room there actually is. When you're not defending. And when you're ready, no rush, let your awareness widen. The sounds in the room, the weight of your hands. The breath, still moving. Bring this quiet with you. You don't have to leave it behind. Thank you for being here and practicing together. If you'd like, you can find a free digital ACIM resource in the description. And if you want to mark the moment, a simple comment such as, "I am grateful," is welcome. Thank you for being here, for staying with something a little uncomfortable, and letting it become something lighter. Be gentle with yourself today. The next time the lights flicker, remember, you're not at the mercy of the wiring. You never were. We'll see you next time.